under me and you bet I felt it. I tried to be chill, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through
everyone. We are back in northern Nevada and out here today on Tuesday, just before the big Memorial Day holiday 2017. And thought we'd get out here at the lake before it gets too crazy, because this weekend's going to be nuts and we're not coming out here then. But it's really beautiful out here today.
Nice over here.
Yeah, this lake was almost was getting very empty, and now it's full again, and it's looking really good. It's out, kind of like an oasis out here in the middle of the desert, northern Nevada. This here is just about where is it? About 40 minutes east of Carson City, Nevada. That's where we're at right now. It's definitely a sunny, bright day out here today in Lake Lahontan. It's about 85 degrees. It's just now about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But we want to do a kind of a recap of our trip to Florida on the hotel expenses, because I know there are some people out there that, you know, watching that see all the hotel rooms that we get. They're probably wondering, you know, man, that must cost a lot of money. Well, it kind of does. I thought I'd give you a rundown of actually what it costs, and I thought I'd give it for like a 1 month period, even though we stayed about almost 6 weeks total. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and give you a county of it, and give you, in case you ever are interested in doing a road trip like that and doing it in the hotels instead of doing it, you know, camping and stuff like that.
You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You have me suicidal, suicidal. When you say it's over, damn, all these beautiful girls, they only wanna do you dirt. They'll have you suicidal, suicidal. When they say it's over. See, it started at the bar, used to chill after dark. Ooh, when you took my heart, that's when we fell apart. That's we both thought that love lasts forever, lasts forever. They say we too young to get ourselves sprung. Ooh, we didn't care, we made it very clear. And they also said that we couldn't last together, last together. See, it's very defined, you're one of a kind, but you mash up my mind. You have to get declined, oh Lord. My baby is driving me crazy. You're way too.
What are you doing? Oh, you're planting trees? Good job. You're so good, girl.
Oh, listen to that out there, the boats.
It was back in 99, watching movies all the time. Ooh, and I went away for doing my first crime. And I never thought that we was gonna see each other, see each other. And then I came out, mommy moved me down south. Ooh, I ain't with my girl who I thought was my world. It came out to be that she wasn't the girl for me, girl for me. See, it's very defined, you're one of a kind, but you mash up my mind. You have to get declined, oh Lord. My baby is driving me crazy. You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You have me suicidal, suicidal. When you say it's over, damn, all these beautiful girls, they only wanna do you dirt. They'll have you suicidal, suicidal. When they say it's over.
Okay, well, we're back from our trip across the United States, and we want to go through a little accounting of what it actually costs. So I've got a stack here of each and every one of the invoices, folios from each hotel, and we're just going to be talking about the hotel costs, and we had quite a few of them. We, as you know, in one of my earlier videos, I talked about the rewards programs that we belong to, and there are 4 of them that we basically belong to, and they help out a little bit on the costs. You get a free hotel here and there. I'm not going to factor those into the actual costs. I kind of throw them out, but I'll let you know that on this trip we had 4 free hotel rooms, so we won't be adding that into the actual costs, but you can kind of factor that in if you plan to join these programs. And the 4 that we belong to is the Choice Rewards. We also belong to the Marriott, and these are the 2 we actually use the very most. The other ones we belong to Days Inn and IHG, which is Holiday Inn, and Candlewood Suites. We don't use them hardly at all, but we did use them a couple times on this trip, just because we didn't really have a choice, and it actually worked out okay, but we don't really going to rack up a lot of points for this one. We're not going to get any freebies out of those. But so basically it's the Marriott and the Choice Hotels, which is Comfort Suites, Quality Inn, Econo Lodge, Roadway Inn, and you can, and it's all in the programs. You can look that up if you're interested. And the Marriott has quite a few to choose from too, which is, we found that the Marriotts were basically the Marriotts are our favorite because they have a really nice Residence Inn program. In the Residence Inn, they have nice kitchenettes. It's almost like having your own apartment, and they have really pretty good meals they offer, like in the breakfast meals. So let's get started here. I'll tell you how we went on this trip. We left here in Reno and stopped off. Our first stop was in Elko, Nevada, and they stayed at the Shiloh Inn, which actually wasn't part of any of our programs, but we liked that one, and we liked the pool there for Brianna, so we stayed there. So actually what we found was that in a 30-day period, our actual average night stay was $95, and that includes tax. Saying the tax really varies a lot throughout the United States. In our travels on this trip, we spent as low as 6% on tax in some hotels, only 1 or 2 actually, and the rest of them were more like 9% to 14.5%. In Georgia was one of the worst. That had one of the highest ones, and but you just take the average. If you could, there's $95 a night, so you can kind of factor that in U.S. dollars, and that'll give you an idea what it actually would cost you. And in Florida, we stayed at the Marriott Residence Inn, which was worked out to be $103 a night, and we stayed there 12 nights, and that's off season, and that's at Fort Myers Beach on the beach. So that's actually a pretty good deal. But it started to get kind of windy there, and that is off season for a reason, because the beach is kind of messed up. But so we left there. But we did spend 12 days there. It was really nice. They have a really nice breakfast in the morning, and on Wednesday nights they have a nice wine and cheese kind of social mixer. So that's probably the best ones out of the hotels. We like the Marriott's the best. So the way it actually worked out was we spent out a 30-day period, we spent 15 of our night stays at Marriott's, 12 in Fort Myers Beach, and then 3 throughout the country, and then 12 of the other nights were at the Choice Hotels, and then 2 were at Holiday Inns, and 1 was at that Shiloh Inn. And as I say, the average for all of it for a 30-day period was $95 a night, and that included the tax. So just back the tax out if you don't want to know the hotel rates. Kind of figure that in. That's pretty good average. It's kind of high, and you can do it cheaper or less expensive, I should say. However, when you're married and have a kid, you got to look for a little nicer place if you can, with a pool, sort of requirement these days, I guess. And but if you're single, traveling by yourself, yeah, you can definitely rough it and go to Motel 6s and other hotels along the way to lower the budget on that. And what I did at every single hotel, I took one of these the receipts, make sure I got a folio on each one, because what I do with them is I actually will write a review. So on tripadvisory.com I have a review I've done for each for so far half of them, but I still have about half more to do. So I haven't got all my reviews finished yet up on this, but I have notes. So whenever I stay at a hotel, I make notes on it. Like this one here at the Comfort Inns, here it says, my notes are very noisy, 2 streets nearby, very noisy, freeway, truck engine brakes, and very loud motorcycles. And it turns out this one was real close to a bar, so it didn't close down till 2. That was a miserable stay at the Comfort Inn in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Not good. Okay, here's another example of one in Sydney, Nebraska. The laundry wasn't working. The jacuzzi that they advertised wasn't working, and it was a very noisy room next door. Kids banging around, going crazy. So I do reviews on all of it. Usually, and I'll do reviews on the management as well. The general manager, I usually get to meet them at least, and sometimes I talk to them quite a bit over things and just visiting with them. Here's, yeah, I've done this one here. This is another one I did in Grand Island. This guy failed to follow the protocol at Choice Hotels, so I wrote a review on him and complained with Choice Customer Care. Quality Inn in Platte City, Missouri. There's no counter space in the room, tiny closet, tiny old musty elevator, no jacuzzi, noisy loose floors, dangerous protruding bed frame. So each one of these gets a review. I just did a really, unfortunately I had to do a kind of a harsh review on the one in Elko, Nevada that we stayed at. That was a comfort suite, and the general manager there was very disingenuous, so we had to write a review. But most of them were pretty good, I have to say. I'd say the most enjoyable stay had to be the one at the Marriott in Fort Myers Beach. There's some of these general managers really go off the leash, and you just can't believe some of the stuff they do or the way they behave. So just bear that in mind. I think you're going to get mostly good treatment at these hotels, and you have to be a little demanding on being treated right, because sometimes they'll just blow you off. But there's ways to. One of the things I should mention too is with these with the hotel programs is that. They give you points, as you know, to get these free rooms. But if you have a bad stay at a hotel, just call the customer service lines, and they'll give you free points that adds to your room, for your free room down the road. And then sometimes you can complain just to the general manager about something you weren't happy. Maybe the breakfast was bad. That happens a lot with Comfort Suites. The Choice chain, the breakfasts are not very good. Some are really bad, and some are just average, mediocre. But none of them are great. But you can complain to them and get some more points put back on your account, extra points, or they'll reduce. A lot of times they'll reduce they'll adjust your Folio. And that's a great thing, because you can knock a hotel room down from $110 to $85. You know, we probably negotiated did negotiate these rates down, a lot of them throughout our stays, and so they are negotiable, even though they seem to have set prices when you go in there. But they are negotiable. Most of the time. To some degree or another, and there are times when you have to get the general manager in to do an override sometimes. So you can really work with them, and don't be afraid to ask them to lower the price. Don't be bashful when you go in there, because the front desk people that work there are mostly just attendants, front desk attendants they call them, and they're just given directives by the general manager of the lowest limit they can go, or the protocols to follow. And then other ones are given more discretion, but most of the time they're told by the general manager what to do. And so bear that in mind. There is negotiations involved here if you want to. If you have, it gets a little exhausting, because I probably negotiated most of these room rates down a little bit. And actually, you can get a free room sometimes if you have a really bad stay. So anyway, hope this helps for you guys thinking about traveling on a road trip. This is just from the hotel perspective, that's it. So you know, if you would like to try it, you can kind of budget that way. So the total for the whole month was $2,850. That was a 30 days hoteling it, and that $2,850 US dollars, that includes tax for 30 days. So there you go. Hope it helps, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Well, you done me, and you bet I felt it. I tried to beat you, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks, and now I'm trying to get back. Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my best. Listen, nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some. I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours.